Well, the Granivere Native Tour Guide Association is a community-based conservation organization established way back in 1989. The core objective of the organization is to manage the Granivere sea turtle nesting site. We also manage all the ecotourism activities in the community designed to utilize the natural environment to provide some form of sustainable livelihoods to the community members.
We are a fairly new group. Well, our plan is to really bring awareness to the Toco coral reef, and we are hoping to get it, to conserve it.
Well, yeah, I know there's international policies on weather and health, like from the World Health Organization or something like that. I think in Trinidad, that's more of like, I think I'm thinking about more mitigation measures with fossil fuel, burning fossil fuel with renewable energy and that kind of thing. I can't point to any specific policy.
No, I'm not aware of it.
Well, in terms of health, I know the Ministry of Health, the RHA, they are up here with us on weather. I'm not sure, I'm not too familiar with that area.
No, we haven't heard anything.
On weather and health, I am aware of the National Climate Change Policy, I think it is. I don't know if there is an updated one, but that's the only one I know of. No government agent has ever asked.
No.
Policymakers need to make themselves more acquainted with community groups in the rural areas so that they can get involved. We are just here. And even though we come on our own and we make recommendations, as we have done in the past, to send to the government or whatever agency that is outside there, we still are not being heard.
But yes, state agencies do reach out to the groups that they know in the area. Yeah, a lot of them. Too many to mention. You see your group named in the final report, and you see your name mentioned as being part of the consultative process. But over the years, you know that the decision has already been made even before the consultation has started.
There are people who are capable, but they may not be in the group. And I think that is where one of our problems lies. The people who are capable of doing so much are not interested in these groups because they haven't been going nowhere over the years. And it doesn't motivate you, it doesn't give you that zeal to want to do anything in groups like that.
I think we have some capacity to help in the areas of monitoring and working with changes in climate, but it could be enhanced. It could be better. And so what we would need is just a little more information from policy makers or the government or the EMA or developers or whatever. But we definitely have several groups and individuals that have the capacity to assist.
I don't think that the community groups really should be making policies because that's not the community. As far as I'm concerned, not the community job. Policy is a specific thing, and so on. However, I think community groups should contribute towards policy making, and so on. There's not enough real true consultation on anything in this country, on anything. We talk consultation sometimes, but most of the time those things are just window dressing, fancy footworks. But really and truly, consultation to me means involvement from the beginning to the end, throughout the whole process, right? So that those things are not happening. I think groups are equipped to be involved in the process if given the opportunity to be involved in the process. In terms of the implementation of policies and so on, I think the groups are best suited in communities to implement those policies, to action those policies in community. You know your community inside out.
Yes, we have community groups. People who are involved in community groups could be part of the policy makers.
I believe they are, they are capable. We are all capable. I don't think that we are quite aware of the powers that we have and the things that we can do. So in that aspect, I think that we need to, really get on board, so to speak.
A lot of policymakers tend to make policies for this region where they really don't live and they really come to visit basically on a day-to-day basis. They would come here for a day and they would sit down and design a policy for someone who's living here. And that has always been a challenge for us because not always the policy are in line with what the livelihood of the people of this area is about. So I think by having persons from the area sit to have discussions with the policy makers, especially in light with climate change, which is a really relatively new phenomenon, especially for us on the Northeast Coast, and to how they know that we are living so close to the ocean. We are the first ones to be directly impacted by the ocean. And when these policies are being discussed and being designed, before they are implemented, I think you should have persons from these different groups represented. They are not doing it in a stakeholder setting where you come to a community center and get the voice of the people. You need to have somebody there from the start of the committee till it's finished, till the implementation. And of course, empower persons to be part of the monitoring process with the implementation, and of course, be a part of the results and the discussion and everything like that for future generations.
We are so academically inclined that we don't understand when you're dealing in rural communities, lessons learned and knowledge based on experience usually results in the same outcome. So yeah, I think that communities need to be seen for what they are. And when policymakers understand that, I think it's a way of moving forward, right?
I think one of the things that is needed in my view to start off is that you set up what I will call a community policy task force. So that you have a bunch of persons in the community who is designated under a task force to come up with policies and so on that will contribute to the community in a positive way. And therefore, those persons will have sessions with other community persons to get feedback on what needs to be done and so on, and come up with some directive that will assist the policy makers at the higher level to include those things in their policy, and therefore then action on a national policy. National policies are done in this country, as far as I'm concerned, back to front. What happens most of the time is that we are forced internationally to sign policies and sign treaties. So we sign those things internationally, and then we look at what we sign internationally, and then we adopt something at a country level and say this is we country policy, right? Coming off of the international thing that they force us to do. Really and truly what's supposed to happen is that policy is supposed to be developed from the ground. So that you have policies developed for areas, in different areas in the country. And coming out of the areas policy, you then develop your national policy on the basis of done developing your area policies. And when you have a proper national policy, then you will know what are the appropriate policies, what are the appropriate treaties that you need to sign on to internationally that will benefit your country specific needs. We're always trying to fall in line with somebody else's agenda. And I call that the first world agenda.